and it really depends on the material that you're using also. Thicker material is going to have a thicker inner diameter, and so you have to account for that while you're making the design.
That's a good tip.
And the outer one goes up to, I believe it is 9 inches.
Okay.
It is 9 inches. So we're at about 7 inches, 8.5 inches, and 9 inches is how I measured it out.
Okay.
So here we have the tool, and there's a little mark, a little notch right here, which is a good place to start. I'm going to place the peg inside.
Yeah.
And then let me see if I can stay in shot. I'm going to turn it over. Push it through.
Yeah. The hardest part actually is getting it set up.
Yeah, right. That's the part that takes the longest.
It is.
Then once you start weaving, you're golden. And so here you're going to take the peg and place that on the back.
And there's only about 140 of these left, by the way, folks. And it holds it. There
and it holds it.
Simple, simple.
So each, you're going to do that following the same row all the way around, so your bracelet is even. And once you do that all the way around, then it's set up like this.
And you don't, now I would say you don't have to use every peg. It just depends on how tight you want the weave to be, what kind of material you're using, what you want the look to be like.
Well, that's what I love about Bead-A-Lon tools, is they give you the foundation and the basis to be able to create. And so maybe you want to do every other peg.
Yep.
Maybe you want to have whatever you think might work. Experiment and see, because you never know how wonderful your design will be able to turn out.
All right, there's about 130 of these. So then what do we do?
Okay, so
how do we get started?
How we get started, I like using, and it shows you in the instructions, how to use 2 different spools of wire. So here we're using our gold color and our silver color wire, which I think makes a beautiful, sparkly, shiny, fabulous design.
It looks like metal.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It
and
is.
It sparkles in the light. And so you don't have to use wire. Like we were saying, you could use leather. You could use anything. All different things. So the way that I find it easiest to do the weave is by using a spool tamer.
Yeah, these spool tamers, by the way, folks, are for this. I think both of us would say, yeah, grab a spool tamer.
Yeah, spool tamers, this is one of those things that you never knew that you needed until you had it, and now you can't live without them.
Why did we not think of this? Why?
Well, it's a good thing that we did. So what you do is you take the clip off of the wire, and then thread the wire, the end of the wire, through the hole in the spool tamer. And these are great for, you can use them for artistic wire, you can use them for wildfire, you can use them for Supplex, for anything that's on a spool.
Yeah, and you get 25 pieces, but the point with this one is if you don't own these, they're great with any design, but particularly these because you're moving this wire constantly around the tool, or you're moving the tool, and you can get a bit of tangle in your wire.
You can get a bit of tangle, but what's great about this is it keeps the wire in, and then when you need to...
You just pull it.
Yep, you hold on to the tab and you just pull out the wire.
It's ingenious, I'm telling you. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Now, grab that, and then there's also this container, and I know we stopped midstream in telling you how to set up your Bengal weaving tool, but we'll get back to it. And then, listen, if you can grab this also, this is a good idea because this little display, you can put your tools right here, you can put your wire right here, and it just unscrews on the side. You see this? Unscrews on the side. You put your wire through there, you screw it back, you put your spool tamers on it, and then Meredith's right. All you have to do is just pull your wire out, and you will stay so organized.
The spool tamer actually goes through this bar back here. And so it holds it in place, so you don't even have to hold it. You can just pull it out.
I did not know that. Look at you.
Yeah, well, you know, we're thinking of things.
Excuse me, you are thinking of things. So add that one in as well, folks. There's your wire tamer holder. It's $29.99. You will love this. So just grab these two. We're just giving you a couple of little hints there. So back to setting our tool up.
Okay. We really do have all of my favorites in the show today. It's like everything out here is stuff that's always on my desk and I cannot live without.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Christian's is that way, Kim's is that way, mine is that way, you're right. Okay.
Okay, so now to get started with the weave, we've already have our tool set up.
Yeah.
And I'll point out again the little notch right here. That's where we're going to start our weave.
Yeah.
So I have a size 2 crimp tube here.
Okay.
And my 2 ends of the wire. And I'm going to put that crimp tube over the wire.
Yeah.
And here I have a crimp tool, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to crimp down with my crimp tool.
So far, everyone, we can do this.
Yep, we should know how to do this.
So far, we put 2 wires through a crimp tube and crimped. I can do that so far.
And then that is how you start it.
Yeah.
Easy enough, right?
Yes, I love that you did that exactly. I just crimped mine. I did.
But you always want to make sure that you want to do proper crimping because
make sure
it makes sure that your wire is going to be as durable and long-lasting as it possibly can be. Okay.
Yep.
So now, again, we're going to start at that notch, so I know that I'm going to come back around.
In the metal by one of the pegs.
And I put both of those wires around that one notch.
Okay.
So the silver wire is on the front and the gold wire is on the back.
Right.
And now it is a simple matter of weaving the wires around. So the silver wire is going to come up, around, and to the back of the next peg.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to make sure that your wires don't cross.
Right.
So now I'm going to go with the gold. And then the gold is going to come around this peg, behind the next peg, and in front of that peg. And then
so just the opposite.
Just the opposite. Mm-hmm. And then this wire is going to uncross.
Okay.
Okay? And that is the basic weave. You go around and around, one wire around and back, switch places so they're not crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Another around, switch places so they're not crossed. And as you continue going around, you can see this one has one full rotation.
Now, I'm going to tell you folks what I did. No, and it's all just, I mean, it's the same concept. I did one full circle in one color and then went back and did the other one in the same color.
Okay.
And it was just like, and you have to make that noise. But it was,
I love it. I'm going to have to start doing that.
It did. It went, because I just went up and down and up and down and went around, and it was super, super fast. So Meredith is more exact, but if you just want to do one color at a time, it worked.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to have to try that. I hadn't done that. That's a great tip. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that.
Girl. There you go.
So here I've now come here, and I can show now. I'm just going to pull out the wire because I need a little bit more slack.
Yep.
So I'm just going to hold on to the tool and pull on that tab of wire. So now I have a little bit more wire so I can continue going around.
There you go. And you just keep going.
And you just keep on going until it is as long as you would like it to be.
Yes. Now, if you do it the way I said to do it, you got to be careful because you cannot miss a peg.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss a peg, you will mess yourself up. Now, on the tool itself, folks, it looks like there's about 110 left, and that is it. And so the effect you're going to get really is...
It's a beautiful effect. So now you can see I've gone around and around and around.
Yeah.
And now this is what it ends up looking like on the tool when I'm all done.
And so you can decide how wide you want it to be.
You can have it super wide. You could even add more wire to it. You can change the color of wire, like the
like that.
one here. So you can say, I'll just bring it into the shot. This one has the gold on the bottom and then the silver on the top. You can split them up so that you have beads running in the middle.
Pretty.
So there are all different ways that you can finish it off.
Now, we're going to keep going on these, but I just want to inspire you folks with some different wire. Now this is all 19-strand beading wire. And don't forget, with that kit, the instructions come with it, okay? And all these kind of inspirations down here come with it. So this is all you need to get started.
That's all you needed?
Yeah, that's all I needed. It is. It's all I needed. And let me tell you, that's perfect. Now, there was a debut item in wire, and Meredith, it has been I feel like it's been forever since we've had multicolor beading wire. Seriously, but look at this.
Yeah, I love it.
Even if you don't get the tool, we both of us hope you get the tool, but even if you don't get the tool, look at this wire.
I love the colored wire, and I love the 19-strand colored wire because it has a wonderful soft flexibility.
Yeah, it sure
And
does.
for making these designs, it pops and it's fun, and I love it.
It's incredible. It's red, black, purple, pink, green and blue. And I mean, they are rich, rich, rich colors. It's 180 feet of beading wire. I can't remember the last time we did colored beading wire.
Yeah, they're just beautiful, beautiful colors. I love them.
They really are gorgeous. And so look, are these the ones that you made with that? Oh.
Those are the ones that are using the different colored wire. And you can see this one has, when we get to the shot, has black and silver together with some beads interwoven between it. And I love, love, love this design. This is actually Sarah Ellis. One of the Beadline design team members made this design, and I love it. It's so beautiful.
Now, see, folks, what you start doing. So she put the beads on the outside. That was smart.
Yep, so she did the warp, and then she came back around and wove more beads over top of it.
I mean, you can see exactly how she did that. And then this one is super cool. And then look at this, everybody. Look at this one.
It's like a caterpillar.
Yeah. And then that one's the same thing. She just did the,
Yep, with that, she did the warp with those big loops of purple seed beads on top of it.
Beautiful. And then look at these two. So it is just, once you get it down, it was a brilliant design, and that's the sign of a good tool, is when you have something that you go, I see that, and you can just create and create and create and create. That's the sign of a good tool, and that's why this one won the award. Most Innovative Award, and let me tell you, you will get Most Innovative Design. So add that one in. So, Meredith.
Yes.
So we're at this point.
Yep.
Okay.
We are at this point, and this is actually one step after you would finish off the design. So you can see that I come in here, and there's a little crimp bead right here, and that's how you finish it off.
So you just crimp. You do your weaves, you take the two back together and crimp it at the end, and you can see it right there. It's so logical. You know, I mean, really, how smart was Krishna to come up with that?
Yep. And so this is where things can, this is the most important. There's always in every tool and every technique, there's always one thing that's the most important thing to remember, I think. And this is the step where it is the most important. So you want to make sure that after you have it crimped out, you need to replace these warp wires with a wire, or else the whole thing is going to fall apart.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So you don't take this off of the tool. What you actually do is pull the design, so it's about halfway up the tool, and then very carefully, let's see if I can be very careful about it, pull.
And it's easy to do.
Yep. And this is where that hint that I gave in the beginning about keeping the stoppers in a little case, it comes in really handy, because they're all going to come out the back here, and you want to make sure that you hold on to them for next time.
Because you're going to need those, guys.
Yes. So once you have it all pulled off, it ends up looking a little something like this. And what you'll do is you'll take a very long piece of wire.
Yep.
And you'll start replacing those warp pins by weaving back and forth.
Now, before you do that, I just want to inspire folks with another color. So the gold and silver come with the kit, with the tool itself, and then you had all those different choices of beading wire colors. There's one more, well, there might be two more kits that we're going to show you, because you're going to need a lot of wire, and it really is just a fun, addictive thing to make. But this kit we put together for $64.99, 19 strand, of course, and you get two of the beautiful satiny silver and two of the satin gold color, and look how this works up. Oh my gosh, I'm going to put this on.
Yeah, I love this design, because I had done the original design, and then Wyatt came in, and he coiled up some, I think this is 16 gauge, it might be 18 gauge artistic wire in little coils, and he used the coil maker, and then he coiled them into larger coils, cut them into semicircles, and then threaded those on that warp thread all around.
Interesting.
Isn't that fabulous?
Now, I'll tell you the honest truth, I thought those were seed beads. How about that? But it's coiled wire.
Coiled,
but you see this,
wire.
folks? Look at this, and this is the wire. The wire in the gold and silver kit is the wire that they used for this one. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, so add that one in. Don't forget about your stretch pays. $12.99 on stretch pay. Now, we are below 100 on the Bengal itself, the Bengal tool itself. So keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay, no, this is great. All right, so now we're going through the warp, and I can just show very quickly how it ends up going back through with a crisscross. It's almost like a ladder stitch that you do going back and forth. And you can see
and
that
it goes right through.
It goes right through because of the way that the pins are. It gives it plenty of space.
Yep.
And it's almost like you're sewing, just weaving back and forth to replace those pins.
And I was watching movies and doing this and just really having a great old time.
And then once you get the wire all the way through, that's when you can go ahead and pull those pins out.
Yes.
And then...
And it's there.
Yep. And this is also where you would put the beads on as you were going through.
Yeah. And you finish it off, Meredith, by crimping.
By crimping.
Again.
And again, I'm not so great. Glue is great, but I really think that finishing off with a crimp bead is the most secure way that you can finish off one of your designs.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like using the bead stringing wire to be able to make these designs because it's durable, it's waterproof, which is great, and you can use that crimping to finish it off.
Well, I'll tell you that is true, folks. One of the reasons I love the beading wire is because, honestly, I'd never, outside of stringing, I couldn't think of any other technique, and there probably are, so you're all probably yelling techniques at me, but I couldn't think of one, and then I thought, you know what, it's cheap to make these bracelets if you're using beading wire. It's just cheap, and they look like metal. That's what blew my mind. And if my daughter went crazy over it, then I'm telling you, that was a big deal. Now, the Supplex color, we haven't changed Supplex.
We have not. Let's do that.
Well, this stuff is like awesome. It almost gives you a neon kind of effect. How do you describe what this material is?
It is monofilament.
There you
go. Again, a waterproof, knottable, very easy to use type of material. And I love how I use some of the beads from earlier.
Yeah,
the barrel beads. And I love that I use the peach and the blue, and so we have colors of the year.
Yeah.
We have beautiful beads and a really unique, kind of funky design.
It is awesome. Look at the Supplex, folks. And look at how the Supplex works into this. There you go. And you get 2 spools each, 25 meters each, blueberry peach, tutti frutti, and a silver tone. And the
silver tones are the crimps.
Thank you. Thank you. They are I was looking, what? No. They are the crimps. But the tutti frutti is multicolor. You end up getting, that's what this one is, you end up getting kind of bands of blue and red and green and all these different effects coming out of those.
And there was really no rhyme or reason to how I put this one together. I think it shows a lot better on the skin. You can really see those colors come through.
There you go.
I just love it. It's such a neat way that the colors came together as I was weaving it. And no two bracelets like this will ever be the same.
No. Oh, no, because of the way the wire is itself. Now, JJ, on the kit, can we remind everybody of the kit one more time? And I believe it looks to me like there are 91 left in the universe on the kit. So I just want to let you folks know that, how many of those? Okay, sorry. There are 88 left in that kit. So if you want to grab it, folks, grab it. Don't forget about your donations of $5 or more, you can get 15% off of that kit. So why not do that?
That's wonderful.
I know. I feel like if you folks are giving to us, it's wonderful that we give back to you. And we've raised so much money for the American Heart Association. So there it is. So we finish it off, and then show them what happens when you pull the
When you pull the pegs out? Okay.
Yeah.
So this one isn't finished, but I can show the ones that I've already woven here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, in fairness, it's not finished.
In fairness.
But
I also
pull the bar out.
Put the other stopper back on the other side, one so I wouldn't lose it, and also so that it would travel well.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily have to do that, but it's kind of a good safety.
That's actually a good idea.
Okay, and so then you pull it out.
And there you go.
And
you're done.
And we'll do this one also, on the other side. And then you can see that eventually this design will come together and look just like this.
Isn't it beautiful? There you go. Ingenious. I love new, exciting ideas about this. By the way, there are about 83 of them left. So if you grab it, you need to grab it in a hurry. And then once you get the options down, let me just show you two things to inspire you. Because you could make, we were talking about this before, you could make little earrings, woven
Yep, we have
earrings.
examples of those.
You could make wrap bracelets, really, because you could keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And look at this. You could split them up and put your beads in the middle, or you can put your beads all throughout the design. So it just, the concepts on this, the designs on this are endless, absolutely endless. Now, there's also silk that I just wanted to remind you is in inventory. These have been really popular. We've got these back in, it's JM Kit 04, and I'm sorry, JM Kit 104 and JM Kit 104B. These are silk strands, and I love them.
The silk is beautiful, and one of the things that Kleshna, who invented this tool, one of the things that she says is try different materials. She uses pantyhose. She uses bags, like grocery bags. She'll strip them out and roll them up, and you can make some of the most amazing, beautiful designs. And you saw how quickly you pulled that off. That's how quickly it works up. Also.
Really? Well, and you could put it in the middle of your design. You could weave it into your design. So anything that you can think of to weave will work. Now, there are 75, it looks like, of the tool left, and that's it. And then we had a Monday one-day sale item. Look how huge these spools are.
It's a lot of material.
It's a lot of material. Now, you made some items out of these. We decided just to blow these out for you folks. They were $39.99. They're now $29.99. And just like Meredith said, anything that you can use to weave is going to work in here. Look at those.
Yeah, I had some of that left over in my office, and I immediately, as I was looking for more materials, I was like, oh my gosh, that is going to look so cool. And so I wove it up, and it's soft. It is durable. And actually, Wyatt had the idea to make something like that into a cuff for a shirt. Wouldn't that be interesting?
It would be brilliant to make these into a cuff for a shirt. Yeah, for sure. Try it on. Now, by the way, folks, I misspoke. This is $14.99. I love when I misspoke and it's too high.
Even better.
So it's $14.99. That looks great with red.
That's kind of fun. I love black and red is like my favorite combination. I love it.
That looks awesome. 50 meters in the gray and silver, 50 meters in the black and silver. It was $30. It's $14.99. I just love it when something is 50% off of a jewelry television price. And on the top of yours, you also put those little embellishments on top of those that you and Kim had. That looks great. You're so smart.
Oh, thank you. It's just a little putting all the stuff together.
You should be an assistant product developer for Beadalon.
That's a great idea. I love it. Let's make that happen.
So listen, stay with it, folks. We know it's really busy. We know it is busy. We appreciate you, folks. We appreciate this woman and the company she represents. We'll be back in a minute because we want to tell you about Brazing. Woo! But take a look at this.
JTV's Stretch Pay. Buy it now, own it now. Flexible payments over time. No interest, no fees. Get the jewelry you love and more. Because that little black dress could use a friend. Get more JTV Stretch Pay. Discover fresh new looks during JTV's Colors of Spring, bringing you a vibrant bounty of jewelry and gemstones. Enjoy colors and styles that'll warm you up at prices you'll adore. Renew your passion for jewelry during JTV's Colors of Spring or at jtv.com/trends. You're watching Jewel School only on Jewelry Television.
This is going to be exciting. Get your torches ready, girls. Hey, I want to remind you of what happens on Tuesdays. We have these mini workshops. You go to jtv.com/Jewel School. They're somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes, and we really focus on the techniques. We try to bring you some super, super awesome prices. And then these techniques, these little workshops, stay online for about 8 weeks, then they disappear and go away. Tomorrow at noon, finishing techniques for beading is what will come up, and then something else is going to fall off. So make sure you watch those because those are great. And we're in the middle of our Go Red campaign for all of us women out there. If you donate $5 to the American Heart Association, you get an extra 15% off of any purchase at Jewelry Television. That's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. We really believe in giving back. We feel like if you folks give, then we should get back to you. We really believe that. So, Kathy is here. Kathy Bradley is actually my personal instructor in metalsmithing, so I always have to behave when Kathy is here. There is her bio. She is a guild artist. She is a patient instructor. And she is a guru. She is my Yoda. She is actually very, very skilled in lots of different areas. But when we bring Kathy in, we ask her to focus on metalsmithing because I feel very strongly metalsmithing is so doable, and I don't want you folks to be afraid of working with metal. I want you to be inspired to work with metal and take it on, don't you think?
That's what we have to do.
Yeah, finishing it, the finished pieces look hard, don't they, Kathy?
And that's great because sometimes it's not that hard, but boy, you look like you really know something.
That's
yeah.
Well said, brilliantly said. So look at these in front of us. And, I mean, you're going to look at these and you're going to think, come on, Kathy, come on, Sherry, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Look at these. Now, this is all brazed and put together. These are brazed, and we're going to tell you, brazing is connecting the metal pieces together. It's like soldering. It basically kind of glues two pieces of metal together, but it's not as fussy.
It's not as fussy as soldering. It's a little bit easier. It's a little more forgiving.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like me and I work with copper because copper is the bomb and it's the best. No, there's silver people out there, but copper's just copper. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's a little more forgiving, and the copper solder, it all kind of blends together. And so with brazing, you get that copper look, and you don't have to deal with the silver solder, whatever. But soldering kind of combines the metals where it's all one metal. It goes in, the molecules all go together. Brazing really just kind of glues things together so that you have a join.
Well, and I'll tell you the honest truth, looking at it, I can't tell the difference. Now, to get you folks started, Kathy helped us pick out this DVD, which is great. It's Copper Jewelry Making, and it's by Kim St. Jean. And this is about, I think it's about 73 minutes in this. And this is so interesting because Kathy looked at us and said, this is how I learned how to braze, Sherry.
I learned to braze.
I tell you the truth, that surprised me.
It's great.
It is great.
And I did not know anything about brazing. I got this DVD, and it was so easy, and I went, takes a little practice, but it's forgiving, and it's there.
It's got you now, doesn't it? So add this in, folks. These DVDs are, I have DVDs I bought at Jewel School ages ago, and I mean ages ago. It goes over not only how to braze, but all kind of torch techniques and how you learn your heat zones in your torches, how to do bezels and bales and all kinds of different things in there, how to pickle, how to turn your metals different colors, $9.99 on StretchPay. But for me, Kathy, and we're going to take a look at what this DVD looks like. For me with a DVD, what I cannot do with you when I'm in your class is I can't back you up.
I can't rewind.
And say, I can't rewind you. I have tried to rewind you, but I can't back up and say, do that again, Kathy, whereas on a DVD, you can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that makes all the difference. Plus, it's really, really up close, and there's Kim right there. Up close, you can stop it. You can back up again, make her do it again, make her do it again, make her do it again, something that's not going to be able to happen. So these are...
Let me just say, if you're new to torches, too, this is great because she very carefully talks about torches and where the hot zone is and where it's cooler. And so it's really great beginning brazing. It's wonderful.
It is. Okay. So grab that. That's going to be all the education you need. Now, there are brazing rods that Kathy has in front of her. And so when you say, I want to get started on this, you basically need what you're going to braze together. Right. You need a torch, And you need the brazing rods. So add the brazing rods in first. We're going to tell you about those. There aren't a lot of these. There's only about 100 of the brazing rods, so you got to grab them quickly. They are item number JM Kit 522, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the rods. 5% silver, 89% copper, 6% phosphorus. 5 of the rods for $18.99. So if you have a torch, you're set. If you don't have a torch, we'll tell you about a torch you can buy. But get your DVDs and your brazing rods and your metal that you want to put together and go for it. Now, in this case, we have asked Kathy, we asked Kathy, I talk for a living, to braze tubes together.
To play with tubing.
Yeah.
Tubing is one of my favorite things to play with.
Because look at what they look like.
It's very versatile. You can do a lot of things with it.
Easy to cut, easy to do.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got started on that.
Okay. With the brazing rods, one of the first things that you want to do is put a little piece of tape down on the tail so that when you look at your desk and your workbench gets not as pristine as it is right now, things are covered, you know what's brazing and what's wire. So you're not trying to connect your tubings with just a wire that won't work for you. So I've already melted this a little bit. Are we ready for this demo?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start this torch. This is the way you work the torch. Get this in here.
And you can add this torch in. It's basically just a basic kitchen torch. It's the same thing as if you were making creme brulee.
Okay.
And when I run through the house with my torch,
I work with copper. I don't do creme brulee. Not in the kitchen that much. This is a copper playing torch. There you go. But here's the locking mechanism right here. You're going to unlock it, push this, and on this side, and turn it around. This is how you lock that flame on, so that you can release that.
Funny. It's $11.99 on stretch bait, by the way.
And you always want to hold the torch in your non-dominant hand because you're going to work with your dominant hand with the brazing rod. This is a cross-locking tweezers. You're going to set your brazing rod in there, and it falls right down just like you're holding a pencil.
Now, will it get hot if I'm not?
It doesn't. It doesn't get as hot. The phosphorus prevents it from the heat transfer, so it's not like holding a copper wire, which is another reason why you don't want to get it mixed up with your copper wire. Because if you pick that up while the copper had been heating, you wouldn't be happy.
Okay.
You'd be checking. You'd be trying to find a Band-Aid.
I would be calling you names.
That's it. Where's the aloe? So, what you're doing is you're heating your tubing, and what I've done is cut the tubing and laid it out in my configuration here. I'm holding the torch kind of away from it, not really right on it. I want to heat the copper. And I'm holding the brazing rod kind of into the heat. See how everything's getting kind of nice and pretty and orange?
Right.
And I'm watching that brazing rod so that when it's going to drop that little, see how that flows?
I hope you folks could see it. It dropped and then spread. It's like it runs.
Whoops.
Leave that design just
and that one went away. And so then if you get too much, you just take, I really don't want you to reach over in there because that would not be pleasant.
I'm going to use it.
So we have tweezers handy. Pliers and tweezers are our friends. We're not using our hands for that. The other thing you can do is when you've got that brazing on there, if you'll notice I'm not putting any more on. I'm just moving what's there around. And it's going to flow and get all silvery.
This is
awesome.
Much easier.
This is the best thing to do because I'm just moving the brazing that's there around those tubings so that now it's all connected.
This is so much easier.
And I have an add, and then you just turn it off over here.
Now, how do you know when it's done?
It's done when that brazing moves and flows.
Okay. Look at it, it's together.
It's all together. And even this little guy that, wanted to run away, He thought he was going to escape, but we didn't let him.
But you got him.
We got him.
So you did that, Kathy, and you didn't even use any more of the brazing material?
Just moved that brazing around on that, and it's all connected. You see all this fire scale now?
Yeah.
What you're going to want to do now is I have let it cool a little bit, and then I'm just going to drop it in water and let it quench.
Okay.
And then I can just pull it right back out of there.
That always blows my mind. It cools up that quickly.
Instantly. Mm-hmm. And so now it's a little bit dark. When you polish this up and finish it up, you're going to have something like this.
And that's as simple as it is. Have you ever, don't you always, now frankly folks, between you and me, so you could make an item like this, you could make an item like this one, but frankly between you and me, don't you wonder why people don't talk about brazing first?
Before soldering?
Yeah.
It's just a different technique. It's all different, and it's all
different.
good.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Brazing is so fast, and you can do little bitty tiny pieces like this. All I did was line those pieces of tubing up and then hit it with this brazing rod.
And there you go.
And we're done.
And that was it.
And
so grab the DVD, okay? Grab that DVD, folks, and add that one in. Now, the copper tubes, if you want to add those copper tubes in, you get a whole set of these. This is more, it doesn't look like a lot of material. This is a lot of material that you're going to be working with. That copper tube kit, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these long 12-inch strips for only $26.99. So don't confuse the tubes with your brazing rods, because that's a completely different thing. The brazing rod's $18.99. The tubes are $26.99. And then if you want to cut your tubes, say, the little device that Kathy has here that's just for cutting tubes, this is the coolest thing. This is really a must-have item.
And can I just say that, we're talking about favorites today.
Yeah.
It's my favorite tool.
Really?
Well, I play with tubing a lot.
Yes, you do.
And if you want to cut tubing, you got to have this tool. And I've told you that in class.
Yes.
Anybody, if you're going to cut tubing, you cannot work with tubing without having this tool.
Show them how that works, Kathy.
You put a piece of tubing in here. This is so great.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm very right-handed. So you have just put your tubing right down into this little slot right here. This lever comes over, and I hold this in this hand and hold this down with my thumb.
Yeah. Left
hand, non-dominant hand, because I have to saw with my dominant hand. This little slot right here, can we see this one right here? Mm-hmm. That is right where that saw blade slides right down in there, and then you usually prop it back here on the table, and you saw away.
And it holds it.
And it holds that blade exactly where you need it to be. You don't have to worry if it's going straight, if it's going crooked. The hardest thing, the worst thing to do is when those pop off and you lose them on the floor and they decide to escape.
Now, and once you have those tubes, by the way, there's lots of different things that you can make with those tubes, which Kathy's going to show us. But I want to inspire you. She made an item off the front of this DVD, which is so gorgeous. You see these agates on the front of this DVD. And Kathy, I want you just to talk us through how you did this. But because she used the brazing rods to do these, but you see these incredible agates. Isn't that beautiful? Look, Kathy made this wherever.
This is the one with the ribbon on it. It's all the way over on the other end, too.
Look at these.
Aren't those great?
Yes, they're great.
If you can hand me that one.
They are amazing.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Look at those colors.
Yeah.
That's these agates that she's going to show you really quickly here.
So, we were so inspired by this and knew you folks were going to love it. Look at these agate slices we put together. You get various colors. There's blues, there's greens, there's purples, there's pink, and there's natural colors. But you get a set of 9 of these agate slices. These are real agate slices. They are 25% off. A set of 9, and I'm just going to try to stack them up here in front of me. Look at these colors. Look at it. For $29.99. Look at that one. Look at this one with the geodes in the center of it. Yeah. Oh, I know. Look. So if you wire wrap, this would be great. If you want to use these for these brazing projects inside the DVD, they would be amazing, but I'm just going to tell you there's only 238 of these. That's pretty.
Somebody hand me a phone.
I know. Oh, I know, Kathy.
They're so beautiful.
Aren't they
and
beautiful?
Then if we can look right here too, the ribbons from the previous segment
that we had before.
Look how beautiful these ribbons are. These silk ribbons go with these agates.
Oh, those silk ribbons are, the cool thing about those silk ribbons, you're exactly right, the shade. These agates are so brilliant, folks, that the shade has got to be that exact. And so, yeah, you're right, that shade that just pops.
Those shades are beautiful.
Yeah. So there you go. So 9 different agate slices, 9 of them for $29.99. Sorry, I got to do the math on that.
Here we go.
$29.99 divided by 9. $3.33 an agate slice.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Hand me a phone.
I know. I know.
But they're so beautiful, the colors. And then when I saw those silk ribbons, because it all blends together.
All goes together.
I was like, oh.
And you know what, Kathy?
So pretty.
You think I'm kidding. I've actually ordered on the air before. I have done that, folks. It is the truth. I have been guilty enough to do that. Kathy, can you just, on this one, because we can see it just a little bit better, can you just talk through how you did this so everybody knows? Now, this is right off of the DVD. So if you have your brazing rods and you have your copper and and your saws and your torches, you can do this based on the DVD. But can you just kind of talk through what you've done here?
The first thing you're going to do is to make your bezel, and you braze it together, make a bezel, and then you're going to, and what I did up here is I also used tubing for Kim on her DVD calls this little piece, the part of the bail up there, she calls it a tori because of the shape, sort of that Japanese kind of oriental kind of shape.
Yeah, you can see it.
And then you braze that onto your bezel.
Yeah.
And then you've brazed a jump ring, a large jump ring, right onto the bezel.
And look at the different colors.
The neat thing about the brazing is that when you put your tori on there to your bezel, you do have that little blob. When you come back in here to put your bail on, you just use that. You don't have to add any more brazing. That's why these rods go a long way.
They do.
Just like we moved it on the tubing where we just moved it across, it just spread across and caught all of that.
And look, Kathy. Okay, so you could use the blue one.
I really want this blue.
You could do the pink one.
It's gorgeous.
And they're incredible. And they're
I just think they're beautiful.
Oh, I love agate
and
slices.
These slices are the perfect thing for this technique.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, all right, and then we're going to tell you one more item, and can I borrow that wire? Now, on the DVD, she did a lot of brazing with
She's
wire.
done it with wire.
Yeah. So we decided, at Kathy's request, that we put together a set of wire for you, copper wire. You ought to get this. You want to get these and those agates?
Oh, yeah.
And just go brazing crazy.
Oh, I've kind of gone brazing crazy with the wire and the tubing and the agates.
How can you not?
It's beautiful and it's so much fun.
It is beautiful and copper is hot. I'm just going to tell you. Now, this is item number JSWR kit 46. It is round wire and half round wire in, drumroll please, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 26, and 28 gauges in the round. And in the half round, it's 12 and 20 gauges. So I'm just going to say that if you do a lot of wire wrap, I also think this would be a great one to do.
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
The half round wire would make a great bezel around those agates because they're a little bit thinner. Those slices are a little bit thinner. This would be beautiful around those agates as this bezel.
That's
brazed together and just fabulous.
That's a great idea and pretty easy to do.
Oh, pretty easy.
I promise you, folks, you're going to look at metal, and if you haven't ever worked with it before, you're going to think, I don't know if I'm ready to step up to that. I literally am so comfortable with metal, I would sit at my kitchen table
Absolutely.
and do this. Now, my kitchen table would look kind of beat up, but
well,
I would
we're sitting right here, and we've just got a, saw-right board. We're sitting right here, and that's all you really need. You put a nice little tile down under it, fireproof, and with that small torch and this brazing DVD, that's what she does. It's right there. You can do it at your kitchen table or a small desk. and you're good to go. And then you've created something like this.
It's good.
And people look at you like, oh, you must have a really fabulous studio. And you go, yes, I do.
It's my kitchen table, but I'm not going to tell you that. So the DVD, the brazing rods, the tubes, the cutter, if you want the cutter, we also have a saw and a torch in inventory if you need those. Try it. Seriously, you will be sending Kathy emails going, oh my gosh,
so
this
great.
is fabulous.
So great.
It is.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And my kids are more amazed with my metal pieces than anything.
And can I just say that our producer, Miss Joyce, who we love dearly, I showed her brazing, and she just picked right up on it. And some of these pieces that we showed earlier, she has brazed those tubings together, and she just jumped right on that and went, wow, this is great.
Yes.
So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Now, folks, stay with us because we're going to get to remind you of a couple of things you've seen in the show. It's been an amazing leap year day. How about that?
It is leap year day.
No, I wish my birthday was
that
on
extra
leap year.
day. I know. We could be 12.
We could be 12. Yeah. So stay with us because we have a surprise that's about to come up. Kim and I haven't mentioned it at all, but it's about to come up because we knew this was going to be a special day, and there'd be a lot of you folks out there and expecting something amazing when we have Kathy and Meredith from Beadline here. So stay with us. We want to remind you of a couple of favorites. Now, this is the saw. If you need a saw, this is the saw that Kathy was using. There it is. Copper comes with that. 3 different blades come with that, and the lubricant comes with it. Grab that. It's $50.94. You will use that for many, many years. And then the tube cutting jig, which was the item that Kathy said, you want to talk about tools that I cannot do anything, I cannot do without. That tool cutting jig would be part of it for sure. $49.99 on that one. And then there's the torch. So grab the torch because, yeah, it is a creme brulee torch. Yes. Now, you know what I do need, my friend Johnny? We have a surprise.
Yay!
Are you proud of us for not saying anything?
I did not know at all. And see, I've been gone for a couple of weeks, so this is like really, really, really a surprise for me.
Well, we wanted to do something to thrill you.
Thank you.
But there has been an item that Kim has loved and loved and loved. Do you see it? You see it?
I'm so excited.
There has been an item that Kim has loved, and so we really missed you. And so we thought, this was a special order by Julie. Thank goodness they got them in. It's incredible. It has been over, I would say in 2015, was this the #1 bead strand?
I would say absolutely. They're so hot. They're so hard to get.
Yep.
We always sell out.
Yep. You ready? Tell them. Tell them.
You know what it is? We know Mardi Gras New Orleans is over, but Mardi Gras is happening here. The Mardi Gras beads. Woo!
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, look at this. Meredith is over here looking at these.
She's so funny.
Meredith's going, what? Did you get those back in? Meredith's over here looking at these. Kathy is over here looking at these. Sorry, ladies. They get first choice. These are such popular beads. Now, you're going to get 4 different strands. We're going to tell you. They are the 8-inch strands, but you're going to get 4 different ones. But what's cool about, look at the way.
Look at the colors. No two are ever exactly alike.
No. These are natural jaspers that are treated. You know, jasper will have these designs in it. Look at this. But these are treated so all the natural weaving, I'm going to say, that goes through the rock itself, the stone itself, gets plugged in. Can you get any closer on this, Ben? I don't know if you can, so they can see.
Yeah, look, there we go, so you can really see.
Yeah. So what happens is, you see the natural black lines that go through the stone? Look at that, Kim. They found a way to treat these. It's ridiculous. They found a way to treat them and put these gorgeous colors in them, and then they put pyrite through these, so you kind of get a shimmer.
Like a sparkle.
Yeah.
It's a little sparkle.
It's crazy.
It's so cool. And the colors, peaches, golds, greens, every color you can imagine. And there's such a demand for these. I think it's been months since we've had the Mardi Gras beads on the air. And how many strands? You get a total of 4 strands of these as well. And a ton of beads. And when they're available, I'm telling you, buy 2 or 3 sets. Free shipping is happening today.
Yes.
You know, we've got free shipping going on, so you might as well buy several sets of these with a free shipping option. And look at the shapes are gorgeous.
I know, I can't believe they're back in. $29.99. There are 180 of these, 179 of these. But Kim and I in the past have called these magic beads. Look at that.
That's true, magic. They are, and you look, every single one, because every Jasper is unique. Everything has a different pattern.
Yeah.
Everything has a different color.
Well, and we've called them magic because they go with
everything. They do.
And you consistently hear that from you folks about, oh my gosh, I got some of these, they were incredible, and they are, and it is hard to get them back in, isn't it, Kim?
Yes, and right now I will tell you, we are moving through these, and if you maybe missed out in the past, or maybe you love the ones you picked up before, then this is the perfect time for you, and just those colors. I love these shapes. I can see really pretty like teardrop earrings with those. Those look like diamond shapes are so cute, right? They're actually like little barrel shapes, so cute.
Now there's about 150 of these. Stay on the line with the vote. How would you describe all these different shapes? So it's the barrel, the round. This one is kind of like a faceted nugget.
I was going to say, yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It's in the faceting. How different is that?
Yeah.
Because you see the shimmer of the pyrites.
And then the ovals down at the bottom, there's about 140.
That's it.
44. Am I right on these?
100, yeah, right there. And we're looking at 40 more strands gone.
Literally.
And the colors are just, look at that against your red.
Oh,
so pretty with the red. And by the way, that's amazing.
Watch these.
And as
watch these, we've never swatched them. Let's swatch them.
Swatch it.
Robert's coming up in 9 minutes.
That reminds me of him.
Let's swatch it for Robert.
And let's do it. Let's do it.
100 and is it 23 up to 120?
Okay, yeah. That's it. And here we go. Let's take all these fun colors.
Okay. Pick up colors.
Yep. You're going to like all the fun colors.
You're right. It is.
Okay, let's do it.
If you're looking for something that's going to go with everything, this is going to do it. Stick another one in there.
You want to? I'll pink.
Try pink.
How?
It is like a chameleon kind of strand.
Right
Orange
there.
For sure.
What?
Yep.
Let's do purple, shall we?
Purple,
Got them?
Yeah.
It's a purple. I
See how
love
it pulls out. You don't realize how many different colors are in this until you see them like this. There's 101.
I love that.
Wait,
one more. Let me do one more.
Blue. We've got to do
the blue is so pretty.
You don't realize how much blue
until you put that behind it.
Right. You put that behind
100 left, by the way.
Nice. Huh?
So 100 left. Yeah, actually about 90 left.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's going fast. That's not a surprise.
Well, they always go fast.
They always
do. Super popular. 82 left. Now, try this with it.
Okay,
try this with it. I would do that. I am just telling you. Now, stay on the line if you're on the line.
Yeah, because there's only like 80 left.
If you missed this at the beginning of the show, these are fantastic. This is Amazonite. Amazonite, real Amazonite, $29.99. You get one strand, but you get 4 pairs of these ear wires.
Yeah, check this out.
Christian's out here on the set with us. Christian, do you know where the earrings are that go with these? So we can show everybody how these are. You get 4 sets of these, so you just make earrings in like 2.2 seconds.
It's exactly right. I mean, you can just curl those up. They're so easy. And that Amazonite, look at that color.
Yeah.
Can you believe the color of that material? I mean, it is in their natural color. That is like bluer than any aqua I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
And it is, and you go online, there's only 20 items total in the entire building.
Look what this
that actually is in Amazonite. Look how cute these are.
Now look at this. Now all you do is take those, and there you go, and you just twist them, and you've got earrings.
Just like that.
0.2
so easy, so easy. And you can do dangle earrings. You can just go crazy with these. And by the way, these little earring wires, they constantly get great reviews.
Yeah.
So if you're a new customer, this is a great way to try it. And by the way, look at the discount. That is almost 40% off.
No.
It's almost. And by the way, Mardi Gras beads, we have about 70 left, and that's it. If you would like it, only 68 left, and that's it.
It's been a crazy, crazy busy day here, folks. So you need to close out your cart. Christian, Kim, would you do that?
I would so do that. These,
I would do that too, and I would never have thought about it. Now, I'll just tell you, the two of us will tell you, the Amazonite is a bit more teal than this, but this is beryl, so you know the true color of aquamarine, but I would do that.
I would so do it, and I will tell you right there, beryl, think of what is in the beryl family.
Yeah.
Aqua. emerald, morganite. I mean, I could go on white beryl. I could go on and on. By the way, we have right now, I think, is it 60 of the Mardi Gras beads left, and that's it.
Oh my goodness.
Just to let you know, 54 left of the Mardi Gras beads.
Well, I'll tell you the honest truth. The beryl has been as popular as the Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras is fabulous, but the beryl actually has been as popular. Isn't that really?
Well, you think one of our #1 selling stones here at JTV is morganite.
Yes.
And it's so rare that we get anything in a morganite bead or a beryl bead. I mean, so pretty, right?
Speaking of beryl.
Okay.
Now, look at this one.
Look, now, what?
Do you like
know
that?
I love this. To me, this is speaking my language. First of all, they're both the color of the year. You've got your blue bliss and your rose quartz. But at the same time, you're also getting Mother Nature's version of it. We're talking, I mean, nugget strands in all of the colors of beryl.
All of the colors.
That's right.
Now, this has green in it, folks. And what is a green beryl?
It would be emerald.
Emerald.
It would be emerald.
Holy cow. Now, that is awesome. It's 2 strands for $19.99. If you've got a phone line, I think the two of us would say, keep your phone line, right, Kim?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're online right now for the Mardi Gras beads, this is a natural gemstone.
Yeah.
That is very rare, very in demand.
Yes.
And all of the spring colors. And wait, there's a surprise with this too. Did you know?
There is a surprise because look, most of the bead strands, this one is 14 inches, right? That's 14 to 16 inches. Well, guess what? 2 strands here. Look what's going to happen.
Now watch this, watch this. What?
It's not 14.
What?
18.
No!
20, 30, 32, 34 inches of beryl. That makes me happy.
That's almost 2 yards.
I feel like a
barrel.
magician.
That's true. That was very good. That was very, very good.
Watch me pull a rabbit out of Kim's purse.
I know.
Look at this. Is that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Okay, now there's the Mardi Gras. So here's your 2. And I think if the 2 of us were going to say, what would your choices be? I would say,
these 2 be,
absolutely grab the Mardi Gras. When the Mardi Gras is sold out and we're down to 30 only on those.
That's it.
Grab the beryl.
Oh, especially when you're making bridal jewelry, spring jewelry. So you see this for, like, if you know someone who's having a destination wedding for like a beach wedding, how pretty would the bridal jewelry be with that? That'd be beautiful.
I'm just going to tell you, on the beryl, I don't even care if you make jewelry. That's just
pretty on its own. Yeah, it's gorgeous on its own. By the way, I believe we are almost sold out of that beautiful Amazonite piece for $29.99. Yeah. But now look at the Mardi Gras beads. That's 4 8-inch strands for $29.99.
I'm going to say, look at the beryl.
And by the way, the beryl is definitely what you want. Beryl, oh, how pretty is that?
Yeah.
For $39.99.
But I'm still saying, here's my choice.
The beryl. Yeah, the beryl. Look at that. Look at those. I agree.
34 inches of beryl for $19.99. Wait a minute. 34 times 2. You just did that in your head, didn't you?
34 times 2. Yeah, well, that's actually 18 inches or 68
inches of beryl.
68 inches of beryl, right. Just like that. Just like that.
$19.99. And here it is on my...
And by the way, we're down to 20 left of the Mardi Gras beads. Now, look at that. You know what's beautiful? I am, actually. But you know what? I can afford mine, too, if they don't sell out first.
Look at this.
Because look how pretty that looks.
And beryl is, when we say beryl, folks, that's a family of gemstones.
Yes.
So beryl is, aquamarine is a beryl. Morganite is a beryl. Emerald is a beryl. Heliodor is a beryl. But look, Bixbyte is a beryl. But looking at the colors of these, honest to goodness, you see green,
which I think emerald.
Pink, yep, and you see blue. So what do you see on this?
I see it like the emerald color, the morganite color, and the aqua color.
And the aqua color. For
that's
$20.
That's it for $20.
Yeah.
I mean, and not only that, soft, beautiful, beautiful beads. Now, by the way, Mardi Gras beads, just really quickly want to remind you as we end on this, is there are 25 total left of the Mardi Gras beads, and that would be it.
Yeah.
So
good. You have to move fast on us. Look at all of us in our red. Thanks to Meredith and Kathy and you folks, and so glad to have you.
I'm so glad to be back.
Thanks to you too. And thanks to all of you folks. We'll be back next Monday with another episode of Jewel.
That's right. That's right.
Grab the barrel. Grab the barrel. If you missed out on the Oppression Jasper, grab that barrel. That barrel rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, don't forget Tuesdays, if you want to join any of the workshops that happen on Tuesdays, they're at noon, right?
Yep,
Online.
they're at noon, yeah.
And we're going to learn how to actually finish up your pieces, different ways to end and finish your project. So stay tuned. And I got to tell you, I can't wait. I hope there's one left of the new bead weaving tool.
I know.
We want one of those.
That's true.
So, now, by the way, Robert and Sherry, you're going to go over there, too.
I'm going over to hang out with Robert.
Okay, so we'll see you later. Bye.
I'm waving like the girls were doing. Welcome into the big show, the big Love Your Heart finale. And my name's Robert. Sherry will be joining me here momentarily, and we have a great silver show kicked off.